Here. What's up, guys? Happy Thursday. Hope you're doing all right, man. It is Thursday, March 24th, 2022. We have got an eventful 5-game slate tonight. Eventful, I mean news-wise. Lots of stuff has come out. Couple outs that were not expected. And then a couple ins that were not expected. Like Chris Paul. Went through non-contact stuff for practice, and it looks like he's coming out to play tonight against the Nuggets and maybe, just maybe, clinching the Western Conference, man. But should be a fun slate for fantasy. It will kind of make the process of elimination a little bit easier, maybe increase the likelihood of duplicated lineups tonight in a lot of contests, but hey, I'm okay with that. Last night was a pretty hectic night for news. Hopefully tonight all this news coming out early is a good sign, and now we just wrestle with what one game stays competitive tonight, right? Hey, yo, Freezayo, appreciate that sub, my man. Welcome to the channel. Let me pull up the alert box just a little bit. It shouldn't be that low. I don't even know how that happened. What's up, chat? How we doing today? Happy Thursday. Ibsen, Bracy, everyone hates Chris, Mia, Moore, Skimmer, Ayo, D, Doug, Steve in the chat. Gun says, do you want more smoothie? I don't have a camera again. Bro, I just did this whole thing. Why does this happen? That's so annoying. I literally don't understand why that would even happen, chat. I literally just did a whole stream. Didn't change a literal thing. Proof Guns, yeah. It's what's up, guys? John Cena here. Talking to you about tonight's DFS slate. All right, give me a second, chat. I'll fix it. I probably just hit something stupid. All right, webcam, properties. What's up, Shark? You doing all right? Configure video. I literally I don't understand how this happens. This happened last time I switched to my PrizePicks stream to my DFS stream, but what can you do?
Do you want more?
Yeah. Oh, is that what you're coming here for?
I've been asking you.
I've been saying, yeah. All right. Okay, I don't know. Undo, redo. Chat, I'm actually perplexed at this one. I don't understand it. Danny's up in here. Danny is up in here, but we'll never know.
I did let you know that your thing was on.
I don't understand why it did that. Alright, configure video. Alright, I'm going to do the old-fashioned unplug it, plug it back in. The old-fashioned, bruh. Chat, how we doing, huh? We can go old school with it. We don't even need a camera, right? You believe that I'm here? You believe that I'm here? I don't even know where the plug is at. What? Alright. I don't know. You need some? Oh, you did. Where is the end of this plug?
Probably on the floor area.
Huh?
Probably on the floor area.
Dude, why is this wire so long?
I don't know. When did you buy
I have a $20 credit Super Draft. I just never want to play there. Yeah, I haven't played Super Draft in a long time. I think I did once, ever. They used to have an interesting. I thought that they had that multiplayer format that I thought it was cool for a little bit, but it just, I don't know, it kind of, it's not that fun. All right, I really don't want to have to do this, but I guess I'm gonna have to. Properties. Gunn got that thing where his voice goes 2 decibel higher when he's talking to Danny. Well, she makes me nervous when she's just standing behind me.
What?
It's like, I don't know what you want.
I didn't even.
Chad, I'm just gonna delete my camera feed and do it all over again. It's fine. No big deal. That's probably what I just did from the beginning. But I legitimately don't understand why I need to make it a process to check the scenes before I literally just had the scenes. Webcam. Anyway, chat, while we are awkwardly waiting on live YouTube, if you didn't catch it, Josh's video from this morning, the first look PrizePicks video, there is a contest on that thing, giving away $20 via PayPal in about an hour or two to anyone who has subscribed to the channel, leaves a comment on that video, and then jumps into the free Discord and gets into that giveaway channel. Just type your YouTube username. So if you want to check it out, it's a pretty simple process. And you might win $20. You can throw towards a PrizePicks card later tonight. You know, CB3 officially in. Yeah, Chris Paul playing tonight is certainly something I didn't quite expect, especially considering that even in practice he was going through like non-contact stuff. So kind of a like threw me for a loop to see him ready to go tonight. But that's basketball for you. Video capture device, add source, webcam, add new source, video capture device, add source. There I am in all my glory. Now we're going to configure this video, and we're going to bring it down to... All right, let's just do that. Fudge it, we'll do it live. Boom. Boom. A little behind the scenes, but in front of the scenes. Make it smaller. Put it up here. Make it even smaller. And then we're probably going to have to do this all over again in just a minute. Boom. All right. Drag it backwards. This is all I care about for now. I just want to get this over with. Nothing like live technical issues to ruin a day, right? Porzingis rebounds over. Maybe that game's kind of a hard read. I think I'm digging Porzingis points more than anything. I know his use is going to be pretty high. That spread was still kind of deep for a Bucks team without Giannis and Chris Middleton. So I'm hoping like there's not any shenanigans there from the Wizards side. But what are you gonna do? Give Gunn the PrizePicks smoothie special, whatever that might be. Let's cash. Let's go. What up, Doug? How you doing today, brother? Got him. You good now? Let's go. Says probable. Who's probable, Keith? For CP, yeah, CP3 is official. I feel like his minutes will be limited, but it's all I guess. Yeah, 100%. Super Draft has player props now. There's a couple sites out there now that are doing like player prop based stuff. I think PrizePicks has kind of like been the most user friendly. So it's kind of a bunch of parody stuff now. So I don't know. It's not if the thing is most of those props are really just coming from the book lines, right? So it's going to be pretty much an API coming from Sharp Books. So you're not really going to get a ton of variance in props. At least that's my assumption. So I if the props aren't drastically different, there's really not a incentive to play on one site versus the other unless payouts are just generally better if they have something like that. But so far PrizePicks tried, true, and tested. Last night Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving 68 fantasy points, 63 fantasy points against the Memphis Grizzlies. So Grizzlies defense still really good, and we discussed game theory yesterday on the stream with Josh about wrestling with the thought that the Grizzlies defense is good, but also wrestling with the thought that Kyrie and Kevin Durant, two of the best players on the face of the earth, and we kind of met in the middle and compromised and targeted some free throw props, right? We had KD free throw props at like 7, and we had Kyrie at 4.5, and they both hit. Kyrie 43 real points, KD 35 points, all that just to still lose pretty easily to the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies are a problem. DeAndre Ayton, while up there in that track meet against Minnesota, he was third on the slate in fantasy points. Joel Embiid, they ruled out LeBron James deep into the day. He ended up with 59 fantasy points. LaMelo Ball with a 50 bomb. Tyrese Halliburton with a 50 bomb. And Donovan Mitchell with a 50 bomb against the Boston Celtics in a game that the Celtics kind of put away pretty easily, 125-97. So a couple of weird top outcomes here in terms of I don't want to say here, but in the last couple of days, we've seen players on the wrong side of blowouts, right? We've seen Sabonis and even Trey Lyles, right, going against tougher defenses where the scoreboard was lopsided. We're still getting very, very usable fantasy days from some of these guys on the opposite ends of these blowouts. So maybe don't run away from the big spread too much. Buddy Hield, 49 fantasy points. With no Brogdon and a little bit of a narrative between Hield and Halliburton going at Sacramento. Those guys were pretty large fixtures in my exposures last night. Jordan Poole, 49.5 fantasy points. Golden State going into Miami, and that's back-to-back games here for Miami where they lost to Tyrese Maxey and the Harden and Embiid-less 76ers, and then what felt like, all intents and purposes, a punt game for the Warriors yesterday. Obviously, they're without Curry, but they ruled out Clay and Draymond and guys like that. The Heat look at the lights to them. So Heat do have some trouble in paradise. And on top of all that, of course, you guys have seen the video with Udonis Haslem and Jimmy Butler. So Butler's yet again found himself in a situation where he can be kind of, portrayed as a cancer. And I know the Heat are still a top team in the East here, but couple wrinkles down the stretch here as we get into the final 10 games or so of the season, final 8 games of the season. So something to keep an eye on, right? Obi Toppin, day lated, a 47 fantasy point game. Russell Westbrook, 46 with no LeBron James. The Tank Bowl with the Magic and the Thunder, Isaiah Roby, was worth having for sure. And then past that, a lot of 40s. For as big as that slate was, a lot of 40s, man. A lot of 40s. How'd you guys do last night? You do all right? I hope you did. Everyone hates Chris's Holiday, Allen, Lopez, Porter, Connaughton, Prob the Straws from Milwaukee with Serge and Nora, and probably George Hill off the bench. Yeah, that makes sense. What up, Jim? What up, Gun? Since Giannis is out, play Holiday and Jokic tonight on the slate. Holiday for sure. Jokic we'll talk about. Jokic is implied for the most fantasy points on the slate, so I will not try and put anyone off of Jokic. But the Suns are a pretty sharp defense, and getting their defensive general in Chris Paul back, not necessarily just from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint on the court, being able to call stuff out. I certainly think we're going to see some Suns unique strategies to try and trap Jokic. I've talked about maybe that could assist Jokic's assist potential today. It could boost Jokic's assist potential today, but I am wondering if I'm going to go crazy with Jokic. But I think no matter what, a 50 fantasy point projection from Jokic today with a little bit of value, that just might be enough on a slate this small where raw points are just raw points, right? So yeah. What up, Rick King? Halliburton's questionable. Yeah, Halliburton was questionable yesterday as well. It would definitely make sense for him to sit out this game. But it's not like he wasn't questionable yesterday and played through the same designation. It was a back injury. So for them to come out and give us Brogdon out and those guys out, you wonder if he was closer to out than in, they would give us a different designation. So I'm not saying that I expect him to play, but I'm also it's not really anything new than that we didn't already have from yesterday. He played through the same designation. So something to keep an eye on. All right, so I'm going to switch to the breakdown screen, but give me just a second because I'm going to have to set up this camera yet again. And then we will be ready to chop it all up for the next hour or so. And there There I go. Gone. Let's put me under the webcam. I'm not even going to set up the green screen. I don't know. Do you guys just want to see Kobe behind me? It probably wouldn't take but a second to set that up. I have no words for why I even did that, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyway, chat, you guys get in that $20 giveaway? I know $20 is nothing, but $20 on a PrizePicks card, just a free $20. Why not? Why wouldn't you? You know. Okay, let's do that. Boom. Halliburton has a strained back from trying to carry that poor team. Maybe. I have a strained back. I have this like nerve issue in my lower back lately, and sometimes I wake up and it feels like someone has a blowtorch on the middle of my back. One of these days, I'm gonna be doubtful for a stream. Yeah. I don't know why. All right, so let's go game by game here. Hey, it's a late lock, so these technical difficulties getting out the way. It is what it is. Cavs project starting 5. Darius, actually, before I do that, we'll pull up Underdog, right? They probably gave us their what to watch tweet already. Actually, let's just pull it up from Discord. Victor Oladipo listed as out for Friday. Likes to 110, and I'll donate one of the cliffhangers. They're going to make it heck for Joker. I don't know, man. All you have to do is pick him up full court and press him. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like, obviously, Jokic is a guy that can adjust to adjustments, but I've certainly got an assumption that they're going to draw up some trap defense all night long. And Jokic is a monster, so please don't let me dissuade you from playing Jokic. I just think it's going to be a tougher matchup than ever or than usual. Key news to watch: Chris Paul probable, Tyrese Halliburton questionable, Ingram doubtful, Anunoby, Gary Trent questionable, Goga questionable, Larry Nance is probable. Right? Foam rollers and massage guns for I honestly AO it's got to be a nerve condition. There's got to be a pinched nerve down there, because I'll just be sitting on the couch or sitting here and I start feeling like my back's tingling from within. I have two different pains. There's like a numb tingling within my back, and then a burning sensation on the outside, and I don't always get them together. So it is, I don't know. I'm just old and beat up, and I've put my body through a lot of bad stuff over the years between wrestling and working in penitentiaries for quite a bit. So a lot of fights, a lot of concrete slams, and a lot of pro wrestling. So I don't know, maybe I'm just paying my dues on my first 20 years. Cavs at the Raptors. First game on the docket. Project 75 for the Cavs. Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Lamar Stevens, Larry Markkinen, and Evan Mobley up against Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Kem Birch. We got 215 total. 5-point spread in favor of the home team Raptors. All things considered, it's probably going to be the least sexy game in terms of pace and total. So probably not going to overload exposure from this game, but there are some heat maps spots to maybe get behind. And, unlike a couple other games, it does project to stay at least competitive. And we can put some big minutes on a couple of these guys: Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Marketing, guys like that. On the Raptors side, we are sitting on pins and needles on Anunoby and Gary Trent. I think we officially have Anunoby as doubtful, maybe. Don't quote me on that. And I'll double check the news and notes here. But I also read that Gary Trent didn't go through practice, but he's only questionable. So who truly knows with Nick Nurse? But I would think that there's at least a reasonable range of outcomes where we lose at least one, if not both, or we continue to be without Anunoby and then potentially also without Gary Trent yet again. But I'll go load the official news from Toronto here. Try laying on a flat floor for 15 minutes a day. It'll help with the back. Help me big time. Yeah, I mean, I'm willing. I'm literally willing to try everything, like anything. Hey, y'all don't understand. I've tried this like CBD oil that you roll onto it, and it's okay, but it doesn't cure it. I don't know. Fractured right finger is unlikely to play in Thursday's game, so we're going to keep that doubtful tag on him. Gary Trent's kind of the wild card. What truly happens for Gary Trent today? He didn't practice on Wednesday. Normally, I would think that's closer to doubtful than anything, but we'll see. Assuming that those two don't play, you probably get a lot of Fred VanVleet, Siakam, big minutes, big uses. So even in a low total, you can plant that type of opportunity at these price points on Siakam and VanVleet, and they're both going to look pretty doggone good. I'm already getting 40-plus fantasy point projection on them with implications that Trent and Barnes would be with Trent in the mix, and then of course Barnes would profile better at this price point. I don't get a great return on investment at this number here, so I'm not that warm and fuzzy. But Siakam and VanVleet absolutely would boost for me. And then Darius Garland does have a 50-plus fantasy point potential outcome here, and he has been killing the assist game lately. So I don't hate getting some shares of him. I don't know that we'd have to give up too much ownership equity in our lineups or my lineups to be above the field or at least at the field. So I definitely don't want to not have some exposure to Garland today on a short slate just because he can be a top 2, top 3 scorer. And then Evan Mobley at under 8K, I need that 40-plus fantasy point potential or 40-plus fantasy point outcome. I'm getting about a 40 fantasy point projection. Not groundbreaking here, but I'll say on a shorter slate, I say it all the time, these short slates, I really do weigh floor a little bit more than usual. The bigger slates is all about ceiling for me, but on these smaller slates, I can get away with a couple of guys not getting to that crazy percentile outcome, right? What up, Renza? Justin Sports says, was a CO, retired for DFS. You or me? I mean, I guess I was a CO. I was a sergeant in my last run. Then I had a couple jobs after that, but now I've been doing DFS full time for like 5 or 6 years. So yeah, I can hear the wind whipping on my TV, bro. It's actual wind. You talk to God about that one. It's not a fan. It's nuts. It's been really windy down here. You guys have seen the tornadoes hitting Texas the last couple days. Mox says, I could tell back pain stories for days, just trying to sit less, got to keep moving. Yeah, it's tough. Please take back Heaney. No, you keep him. I'm surprised Andrew Heaney landed a deal somewhere, especially with who he did. My goodness, the Dodge. After stream, just stretch and attack areas that are knotted. I don't know. What up, Crispy? You doing all right? It's because all we do is sit in our cars and jobs or hit some back. God, man, ayo. I can show you videos of me jumping off a top rope through a table outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did some dumb stuff, so it could just be me paying my dues, getting receipts for not treating my body the way it should have been. But I also was in a lot of prison fights, so a lot of concrete, a lot of steel crash gates, stuff like that. When we were really throwing it down, so it could be a lot of everything. Heard the wind earlier too. Checked my windows. I'm wearing earpods. Yo, it's windy, bro. It is windy, and the way my office is set up here, this window catches so much, and it almost makes like a vortex more than like you probably should hear, because it's just like a big pasture on the other side of this window, so it just kind of catches the lip of the window, and it probably sounds more windy than it is, but don't get it twisted. It is windy. Anyway. So we'll sit on that Raptors news. We'll come back to it. We do have a lot of news pertaining to this Bulls game. Bulls at the Pelicans, next game on the docket. Bulls projected 35. Alex Caruso, Zach LaVine, Javonte Green, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic taking on Devontae Graham, CJ McCollum, Herbert Jones, Jackson Hayes, Jonas Valanciunas. Looks like Larry Nance is going to make his debut over here. Brandon Ingram doubtful. Zach LaVine's going to play. DeMar DeRozan is out for the Bulls, so it creates a spot for the Bulls where we can really key in usage on Zach LaVine, on Vucevic, and both guys, especially on Fanduel, are just insanely underpriced. Under 8K, under 7,500 is Zach LaVine. I'm getting a 45 fantasy point projection on that. Yeah, I'll take that. And under 7K is Vucevic. And in this split, he averages 1.3 fantasy points per minute, the most on the team. So if he gets to a 30-plus minute projection, which he should, he's going to be one of the best plays on the slate in terms of points per dollar. And he might be the better points per dollar Nikola on the slate, right? The slate is leading the league in Nikola's.
Bing bong. Chatted $4.99. What up, my hitter? Got any good prize picks for me?
What up, my hitter got? What does that mean? Appreciate that, Adam. Any good prize picks for me? So what we just walked away with on the last video, I was pretty privy to everything Levine real points, Steven Adams first half fantasy, probably Vucevic fantasy, Drew Holiday, probably real points, but I don't hate fantasy. And then the Memphis, I'll probably get crazy with Memphis first half props and not go too crazy, but I appreciate that. Don't know, my dude. I need to know, would you play Joval or Vooch? Who do you have for more points? So straight up, I have Vooch at 47 Fanduel points, 45 on DK, and JVal about 40. What I'm kind of worried about JVal is Willie Hernan Gomez is good. Jackson Hayes can vulture. And Larry Nance is now there. And I don't expect Larry Nance to play significant minutes to play Larry Nance. But if you got 10, 15 minutes, if they treat him as a big, this could just make things a little bit more volatile. So I don't quite know what the plan on JVal in terms of minute projection. So I know that Vooch is going to probably get me that 33 minutes. I'm going to have that usage. JVal certainly has an outcome for 50 plus tonight. The Bulls have been hemorrhaging fantasy points to opposing bigs. They've been allowing a lot of points in the paint. We know without Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, JVal probably going to lead that team in usage. So there's a real chance that JVal is one of the best plays on the slate tonight. But in terms of projection, as the question was, I have a stronger projection right now on Vucevic. And for that drastic of a price difference, especially on FanDuel, it's probably going to give me more Vucevic than JVal. But that's not to say I'm not playing JVal tonight. I do think his ceiling is certainly worth chasing tonight. But I do think his floor comes with some volatility due to the moving pieces in the front court. But I think the Bulls are essentially full stackable. Alex Caruso, Levine, Vucevic, Dosunmu, and Kobe White should be involved here. All the guys in play for me. You can make a loose case for like Javonte Green, Patrick Williams. I don't ever play those guys, but maybe Javonte Green's a little bit more clickable today on a slate if you're just looking to stretch some value. But those are nothing that I'll get warm or fuzzy on. Same with the Pelicans. If Devontae Graham plays today, it's probably not going to move the needle much for me on Devontae. I might get a share or two on FanDuel. 6K on DK, I think that's pretty fair. Tough matchup. I think it's really going to be McCollum, Hayes, JVal for me. And then depending on the rest of the slate and how news shakes out, I think this bench could be really, really deep. A lot of 15 to 20 minute projections there. So I'm really leaning on the Bulls quite a bit tonight. I can't remember the last time Vucci game was this cheap. It's disrespectful. Disrespectfully cheap for sure. I probably wasn't even playing. I don't know that he ever was, right? With the Magic, I think if we were playing like 8, 9K at night, happily. Next game on the docket, Wizards at the Bucks. Projects 35 for the Wizards. Raul Neto, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Corey Kispert, Rui Hachimura, and Kristaps Porzingis taking on Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Wesley Matthews, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez. So what I do think we'll for sure get is probably that Portis Lopez double big starting lineup. That's what we saw the last time Giannis sat. I do think whether it be Wesley Matthews or Pat Connaughton or something like that, that's the one area I wasn't quite sure on, was who fills that middle. And I think it's probably most likely you're going to be Wesley Matthews or Pat Connaughton. I guess Jordan Nwora could be a thing as well. So just kind of play with those rotations. But no matter what, I think the usage guys and the guys for minutes that I'm going to target the most for the Bucks, it's going to be Drew Holiday and Bobby Portis. Brook Lopez has been starting, and he's obviously their plans to be their starter. But as far as minutes, I don't feel comfortable putting a deep expectation on him. He did get to 24 minutes against Chicago in a blowout, so that's a good sign. And if he can be a point per minute on this slate at 4,300, certainly could fill a role in a lineup if you're trying to pinch some pennies here. The one thing I didn't quite, I don't want to say understand, but the 9.5 point spread, I felt like without Middleton and Giannis, thought that was pretty deep. So I don't know if that's just straight up, the metrics telling us that the Wizards without Kuzma should not be competitive against Drew Holiday and the boys, or maybe we're gonna get curveball here. But I thought that the spread had a chance to be a little bit closer, even if it was like 5 or 6. So maybe look out for that. Porzingis against that Houston Rockets defense thrived, and yeah, he put up a big fantasy line. That's to be expected. But I think the most actionable bit of information I pulled from that game was the fact that he played 32 minutes. So that was a great sign. We had kept hearing about he wasn't on a restriction, but he had never played, that 30-minute threshold on the team. And there was blowouts, there was foul troubles, all that stuff. But against Houston, no foul trouble. Score kind of stayed within reach. They did get smacked around, but big fantasy game for him. And we now know that he can play over 30 minutes, so that's a good sign for Porzingis' interest tonight. I can get in a 40-plus fantasy point projection on that. Obviously, we're going to key him in as probably the highest usage guy on this team while he's out there with a lot of per-minute production. Past him, who do we lean on? KCP maybe some Raul Neto. It certainly is an ugly Wizards team to piece together, so I do got them losing. But there are some price points and some spots to attack. What do you guys think about Corey Kispert? Obviously, against the Bucks, we like 3-point shooters. But this is a Wizards team that is kind of hard to really rely on guys past the Kuzmas, the Porzingises of the world. Do you think Kispert would be the guy if we want to follow that process of attacking the Bucks with 3-point shooters? 7, 8, 5, 3-point attempts the last couple games. 30-plus minutes. Is he the one that you want to play in? Even if he drilled 5 or 6 threes, is he that important later tonight when all is said and done? 13, 14, 15 real points in a couple of his last 4 games. And he didn't really put together anything else peripheral-wise to really be needed from a fantasy standpoint. So I'm curious to see if you guys are getting to Kispert at an aggressive rate. And then what do you guys think about KCP? We go pull up that NBA Wowie tool, that on-off court tool. We take Washington. We put Kuzma off the court. What the heck? What up, Obi? Doing all right? How many minutes do you think Jordan Nwora plays tonight? I had him at about 20 so far, but I'm willing to be wrong on that, and I'm willing to adjust it based on what that starting lineup is, So let's go pull back up this on-off court tool. And see, I feel like every day around this time, this site gets really, really slow. Really slow. We're going to put Porzingis and KCP on the court. It was going just fine on the PrizePicks show, but I feel like every day around this area, maybe a lot more people are using it now, and it kind of puts a little bit of a stress on the site. But man, I might have to find an alternative just to get this stuff done. Is Vooch or Joker click hard on Fanduel? It's definitely very hard, especially considering one is 50% of the price, right? All right, we made it this far. KCP, let's just take off Kuzma. Hopefully, Montrezl Harrell and guys like that are not going to delay. Yeah, they won't because Porzingis is on. KCP has a 19.7% usage rate, 0.75 fantasy points per minute. Porzingis is the only guy that's really worth getting. I guess you could make a case for Neto, but at that price point, he's so close to Tyus Jones. You just play Tyus Jones, especially on FanDuel, unless you really need to double down on some value point guard, right? Is Wesley Matthews allowed to get assists or rebounds? Never seen anything like it. He's the new Tony Snell, right? Make sure Mike Myers isn't behind you, homie. That was creepy door creep. Yeah, I know. Danny just walked in on speakerphone and was like, what are we doing? What up, Macau? You doing all right? But yeah, that door is very creaky. We got wind. We got creaky door. We got broken webcams. Dude, this is a heck of a stream, man. Hopefully we'll get all the bad tech stuff today, and tomorrow will be a lot more streamless. Because today is kind of a meh slate. Easy to target, right? Pacers at the Grizzlies, next game on the docket. I think this game is going to be real fun, especially for prop shopping. Project starting 5 for the Pacers: Malcolm Brogdon, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, O'Shea Brissett, Isaiah Jackson. No, okay. Why did I just read off all those names that I knew wasn't going to play? This is what happens when I don't have Josh to fill time for me. So what we do know with the Pacers is that Brogdon is out again. That's 2 days in a row. Brogdon's going to be out for rest. And Isaiah Jackson had the concussion symptoms. He is out after getting cleared yesterday, getting a headache. And then we had Chris Duarte out as well. And let's see, look at last night's rotation for Indiana. Do we start Justin Anderson again? Is that what we're going to do? Justin Anderson. Yeah, I guess we do. All right, so let's put Anderson and Brissett here in the 3 spot. Okay. Boom. No matter what, this is an uphill matchup against the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies ruled out Dylan Brooks. They ruled out John Morant. My bad, y'all. I didn't have time to update this between the PrizePicks show and now. I did a projection sweep, but I didn't update the index portal. And then we also have Brandon Clark out. So a couple of notable outs. And Brandon Clark was a guy that could be 20 minutes a game. Dylan Brooks is obviously a big piece of usage in that lineup. And then what this is going to do is going to be able to really lean on Tyus Jones, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson for usage. And Jaren Jackson in the split had a 30+% usage rate. With Desmond Bane being behind him. And, of course, Tyus Jones had an incredible assist rate. All right, I'm done using this site for now. 237 was our total. 12.5 point spread in favor of the home team Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies have since moved to 11.5, 10.5 in some spots since that news has come out. So the defensive rating after last night pretty much stayed the same for Memphis. They gave up a lot of free throw points, right? What are you going to do? 25 plus free throws allowed, a lot of them to Kyrie and KD. But their defensive rating in games without John Morant, 17 game sample size, is 100 points for 100 possessions. That's super elite. They're facing a Pacers team that they just put down 3 or 4 games back, a game that did not have John Morant as well. So with the Pacers being on a back-to-back with some travel, certainly feels like a massively challenging spot for them to stay competitive against this just elite defense for the Grizzlies. And I'm just really keen on Tyus Jones, Desmond Bane, and Jaren Jackson. And then for those of you on PrizePicks, I do like the thought of Steven Adams' first half fantasy points. I just think it's pretty low for a line that he's been smoking, just as is. And it also kind of maybe gives us a little bit of safety. If we worry about no fourth quarter for some of these starters, we can attack those first half props for PrizePicks. But what are you guys thinking on the Pacers? So we talked about at the top of the show. There's a couple of spots in the last week or so. Last night, Donovan Mitchell. We've seen Sabonis drop 60 against the Celtics while getting smoked. There's been spots where guys are putting up decent days while the team is getting demolished. And Halliburton, if he played, would be in a spot without Malcolm Brogdon to play deep minutes and have an incredibly high usage rate. But do you think there's any any pushback here? I don't think I'm getting to the Pacers tonight like I did last night. And I don't really see a price that I love. I think $3K on Justin Anderson versus $5,300 on FanDuel. Maybe the DraftKings price point is probably a little busted. And at that point, minutes equal money. So I guess I do get to Justin Anderson just because. But I think the regulars that I would target, the Buddy Hills, the Halliburtons, I think they're out of the equation for me tonight. And then we're just kind of rotating thoughts on like Goga Batadze. He's got a Q tag with Jalen Smith back in the mix. I'm just kind of like down on the Pacers as a whole, and I'm thinking I'll take darts on these cheapies, with Justin Anderson probably being the most prevalent guy here. And I'm just going to kind of stick to the Memphis Grizzlies, a lot of Chicago Bulls, a bunch of Pelicans as well. And then the next game's not going to be super easy to calculate, but this is a spot where it's hard to really love the biggest underdog on the slate on the back-to-back against the best defense in the league if you want to go off a 17-game sample size, right? Some fool's going to catch a gun line today. Man, I don't know, Caleb. You might be a little late, but I've been having some back problems a lot today, and I don't know if I got any more gun lines in me, but maybe, just maybe. Thank God Anderson is 53 on FanDuel. Full fate, yeah, it would be. It's certainly a spot where I'll probably get to Anderson more than I want to on DK, but on FanDuel, if I don't get 25, 30. I don't have to do it, right? What up, Riley? What's up, Riley? Haven't seen you in a minute, man. You've been locked up in county, bro. Where you been? You can tell baseball's on the horizon when Riley is in chat. So Keith says it's a Concher kind of sneak night. Yeah, it definitely feels like one of these, not one of these, but a couple of these Grizzlies guys. Like last night, D'Anthony Melton, right? He popped off, and this could be one of those opportunities where now he's implied for more minutes. 27 minutes last night against Brooklyn, 23 real points, 30 fantasy points. There's definitely a lot of names on the Grizzlies squad tonight that I'll put in the blender for me. Looking at Memphis. I'm going to do two. We'll look at last night, but taking away Brandon Clark, Dylan Brooks, and John Morant, you might even see some lineups where Concher and Desmond Bain, Concher and Tyus Jones and or D'Anthony Melton, a couple of those guys play together. Concher, 10 minutes last night, without Dylan Brooks, maybe that's 33 minutes that we start splitting apart. Colin Anderson will probably trap some people if he ends up starting like he always does. And then, D'Anthony Melton played pretty significant minutes. I'm very intrigued in this Clark 20 minutes being removed from the equation because the math tells us Jaren Jackson has over a 30% usage rate. My projections are getting me almost 40 fantasy points here. And, maybe there's some people that played Jaren Jackson Jr. last night and didn't quite like the results, 30 fantasy points. But I think against Indiana, 40 to 50 fantasy points, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Just dropped 40 on him 4 games back. I have a lot of interest in him. And, it's all kind of asterisk based on this game staying close. But I think we just have to throw that thought process by the wayside and just truly attack spots and attack projections. And if you're going to bolster minute projections on Jaren Jackson and Steven Adams, both those guys are very alive in this matchup too. Be strong fantasy plays. And like I said, Tyus Jones on DraftKings, I would really have to think about 100% Tyus Jones at 4,300. Like, it is such a great spot matchup-wise, and Tyus Jones is so insanely underpriced at this point that I just think, I don't know, man. I obviously it's going to come with a lot of ownership as well, so we're wrestling with leveraging that ownership. But man, oh man, this 4,300 just seemed ridiculously low for this opportunity. They have him at 7.5 assists on PrizePicks. His assist rate has been 30 to 40% in some of these splits with Desmond and Jaren Jackson Jr. So certainly a big Tyus Jones believer tonight. He was actually on the first thumbnail for this stream. But because John Morant wasn't officially rolled out until a little bit while ago, and I was doing a lot of solo stuff today, I went ahead and changed it to Levine once the DeRozan news came out, right? Rick King says, who's the best value center besides Jokic? If you're talking FanDuel, it's 100% Vucevic pre-flop. So that's my answer. What up, Howdy? 06. What up, Jim? What up, CEH? Great matchup for Triple J. I like him today for 6,600. Yeah, I think he's a huge opportunity at that price point without Dylan Brooks. Jeremy says, hey, Gun, Drew, Portis, Caruso combos in 100% of my lineups tonight, good or bad? Drew should be great. Portis should be good. Caruso is fine. Caruso is probably too cheap. I'm not sure which site you're speaking to, but I don't think Caruso has. Yeah, Caruso's about the same price on both sides. Yeah, he's too cheap. Same with him and Tyus Jones. Like, if you wanted to double down on value point guards tonight, you could. It makes a lot of sense. So I definitely like all those plays. And Bobby Portis could be top 2, top 3 in scoring as well. Tyus Jones is $10 min on Yahoo still? Like, how? Like, honestly, how? Like, why are these? I don't know. Melton, yeah, Jim. So if I had to go make a player pool, I'm gonna open up my cruncher. I literally think that I could have 5. And it's a short slate, and I'm going to be running, a vast amount of lineups. But if I had to create a player pool for Memphis, I'm definitely going to have exposures to Tyus Jones, to Desmond Bain, to Jaren Jackson Jr., to Steven Adams, to D'Anthony Melton. against my better judgment, probably a little bit of Colin Anderson. Yeah, I think D'Anthony Melton makes the cut for deep field tournaments as well. So even shorter tournaments, right? We got to get a little bit weird to get a little different, because it's gonna be pretty easy to land on a dupe lineup that makes the most sense, right? What up, Neville? You doing all right? Tyus went down 100 on DK from last night. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. All right, we got one game left on the docket. A little bit of low energy stream today, chat. My bad, but we'll be all right. After this stream, I'm going to probably record a best bets video. So if you guys are lurking in the background later and you see, oh, Gun's posted a new video, hey man, show that video some loves. Hit the thumbs up, hit the comment section, all that good stuff. If you want to win $20, right? I'm not, but $20 is $20. Go check out Josh's first look video for PrizePicks today. I know some of you guys maybe don't play PrizePicks, you're just here for DFS. I actually think you can get some value out of Josh's first look video. It's more than just picks. He really does do a great job of revisiting what happened last slate and then talking about what he might expect on tonight's slate, what he's looking for. And yeah, it's prop centric, but it's not like, oh, this line is this and blah blah blah. It's not. His mind is so sharp for basketball. But if you go to that video and if you watched it this morning, you didn't even notice it. On the left side, it had this $20 PayPal giveaway. $20, why not? All you gotta do is be a subscriber to the channel, leave a comment on this video, right? Some engagement. And so you guys are really killing it now. I appreciate that. Leave a comment on that video and then join the free Discord. Link to that Discord is in the description below this video. It's also in the description of this one. And then once you do that, you pull up the free Discord. There's a channel called, oh wait, that's the rundfs.com Discord. Hold on. There's a channel called Giveaway 324. This one right here. You just type what your YouTube name is, and we'll pick a winner here in a little bit. And I'll DM the winner, and you guys give me your PayPal address and $20, and then you have a $20. I don't know. You can get a lunch. You can get a 5-pick parlay, something like that, on a PrizePicks. So it's a little way to incentivize you guys engaging with the videos. Video engagement is one of the best free ways you guys can support your favorite YouTubers, whether it be thumbs up, but especially comments. It helps the stir the accessibility to the YouTube algorithm, which YouTube algorithm has been really favorable to me lately, but we could be better, right? So I don't know, just a strategy to get you guys a little something extra for playing along, right? $20 pay for a lot. Let's go. Pays for a lot, right? That's what, a gallon of gas these days. Let's go. And then of course after this stream, or maybe not directly after the stream, but 2 hours before lock, I'll be in the rundfs.com NBA VIP Discord, and you guys can get access to that with a membership at rundfs.com. And the MLB season price is up, and that's not, it's not just for MLB. It's all things VIP, baseball, basketball, some NASCAR in there, daily Discord, voice chats, all that good stuff. That'll be at about $300 price point until October 5th. That'll get you locked in for all VIP till October 5th, but it also comes with a $100 credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. So rebate that down. It's like a $200 to get daily access to the bomb detector if you really strip it down, right? So it's really, really good stuff. You hear the wind? Over here, it's swirling and yeah, would be forever good. We'll do more giveaways too, so don't just like unsub and be like, oh, I'm done. We'll do more giveaways. We're definitely going to give away some more VIP passes in the coming days. We've been trying to make that Discord community grow too, and you guys have been crushing it. I'm loving the vibes in that Discord, so keep that going. We'll do more VIP giveaways, we'll do more cash giveaways, all that good stuff. I'm spending it on DFS gun. Let's go. What up, Justin? Salaries come out for the next day while the slate is going on, usually the night before. Yeah, but also like this isn't like Tyus Jones' second start, you know what I mean? So it's, I don't know, I don't want to. DFS do get a lot of blame, but there's a couple things that shouldn't be. Like Justin Anderson shouldn't be 3K on DK right now with a couple of starts logged behind him. There should be some type of adjustment. So something's slipping through the cracks, and Tyus Jones should be that cheap. Same with Caruso. Like, I'm not saying Caruso should be a 5.5, 6K guy, but we know he's going to be a starter for a bit. So, make it a thought on a smaller slate. What is Josh's YouTube name? It's Josh Jennings. Got to run. All right, Steve. Take it easy, buddy. Boucher tonight? Just might. All right, main event tonight is the Phoenix Suns at the Denver Nuggets. Project starting five is Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton, up against Monte Morris, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, and Nikola Vucevic. So 232 total, 4-point spread in favor of the home team Denver Nuggets. So there is a path to that moving as the public reacts more and more to Chris Paul being active. I said it on the PrizePicks stream. You guys know it. The next win for the Suns clinches the Western Conference. So is that why Chris Paul dusted off the jersey and said, all right, I'll play tonight? Nuggets have moved to -1 in some spots, and that could just be the home court hook by the time we get to lock. Suns are on a back-to-back, but Chris Paul's kind of fresh-legged, all things considered, and they might be just trying to get that number 1 seed clinched. Go out there and pop them bottles tonight. Don't have to worry about a game tomorrow, and then kind of stagger rest down the stretch here for the final 7 or so games. So something to watch. Because of Chris Paul being surprise active, Devin Booker's 9+K price point is going to be a little harder to feel great about. I guess DeAndre Ayton's price point is still cheap enough that 35 means something, but I think at that price point, right, same price as Vucevic without DeRozan, I'm probably leaning Vucevic 9 times out of 10. And I guess statistically, we know Booker will have a 30+% usage rate with Chris Paul and Ayton on the court. We've had that all year, but we don't quite know what to expect from Chris Paul from a minute standpoint. I can't expect the world. However, it was just a thumb injury, right? It's not like one of his usual hamstring stints or something like that where, all right, maybe you really got to be cautious. Thumb injury, you can still get your cardio in, so I just don't quite know what to project minute-wise. So I put a solid 30 there, and I think Cameron Payne's earned enough respect and trust to be part of the mix. If you didn't want to unload Chris Paul deep minutes on the first night in Denver. So I don't know. What are you guys thinking on Chris Paul minutes? I put 30 for now. I'll probably keep my ear to the ground to see if any blurbs come out. And then what are you guys realistically thinking about Denver? This total seems really high, doesn't it? I don't know. The Suns with Chris Paul on the court, I mean, their defensive rating is definitely going to get a little bit better. Maybe even if it's not just him physically better defensively, he has such a great mind for basketball that I certainly think between him and Monty Williams, like that defense will scheme for Jokic, and I think Jokic is a guy that can make adjustments and get through some tough defenses here. But I certainly think it could be a scrappy night for him. So what I was kind of thinking is, if we see a lot of Crowder and Bridges trapping him, stuff like that, I think it might boost his assist potential. And then that was something I was thinking about for prop betting, because the assist line is about 8. But I really don't have like the strongest lean on this game for such a high total. So I don't know. I'm willing to hear what you guys are thinking on this one, how you're game scripting this one to play out. I definitely wouldn't have had this line at like this high of a total. I don't know. I just don't trust Denver in their pace. But I will say their offensive efficiency is starting to pick up. Especially lately, we were seeing a little bit more Bones Highland in the mix. So maybe they stun us here, maybe they surprise us. But I don't really have a core lean here. I think all my Suns exposure is just going to be drops and buckets for tournaments. And then on the Nuggets, obviously we'll get to Jokic because he's going to be projected to lead the slate in fantasy points. But I don't think Jokic will be my highest owned center on either side. I think it's going to be Vucevic. I think Jonas Valanciunas, guys like that. Even Steven Adams. I don't know that I'll have more Steven Adams than Jokic, but if I've walked into battle tonight with less than 30% Jokic on this slate, I would not be surprised. So maybe I'll keep an eye on ownership projections to see if that's a contrarian take. But I really like the thought of Vucevic tonight. What up, Craig? Your leverage on Jones at 100% as he may be 70%. It just seems like Tyus Jones can't fail. Knock on wood, there's other things that could happen. But even in a blowout, 4,300 for Jones without Dylan Brooks, it's just so much of a positive matchup. And I also say, one of the things that Tyus Jones can do is he can pick up some of those defensive peripherals as well. Steals, have these high steal games. And Tyrese Halliburton can turn the ball over with the best of them. So I just think this price is way too cheap on Tyus Jones. And it's just like, what's the worst case scenario here? Outside of injuries and whatever, even in a blowout, if he got 20 minutes, like 43 on a small slate, I could probably still see 25 fantasy points being quasi-optimal, or in a winning lineup at least. So I just don't really see the risk here. And then on FanDuel, giving you a little bit more boost for those defensive peripherals as plus threes, I'm just gonna full send Tyus Jones, man. I just really am. Barton's price on FanDuel going to get me in trouble. Yeah, so if you want to play along with the trap Jokic style of defense, Aaron Gordon, Barton, Jokic will find cutters, he'll find slashers, he'll find the 3-point, he'll find the open man, and I think that would boost, especially on FanDuel. These price points for the Nuggets all the way through and through are pretty cheap, and I definitely wouldn't talk you guys off of any of them. I'm going to have them all in a player pool. If they fall, they fall. Hopefully randomness will fall on my side tonight. But it's kind of crazy to see a whole team, be under 5K essentially with one guy and 12K. I mean, that's such a lopsided team. That right there is a case for Jokic's MVP status as is, How do I access the X16? I don't think I could explain that. I think if they sent you an email, there should be a pretty big, or pretty thorough instructions. I think I did see Jax posted in the RunDFS.com Discord yesterday, and I guess maybe I can help you try to interpret it, but I don't think I would do it justice. So let me scroll up. So. That it looks like they have a whole Q&A. So how about why don't I just put this in there? So if you guys are looking to make sense of that, check that out. Also, if you don't know what they're talking about, it's a promotion by PrizePicks. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's a really fun way to diversify your daily spend. As I always say, it's like DFS meets prop betting. Unlike sports books, you can bet some stuff that is not really readily accessible in a lot of books. They have first half props, free throw props, fantasy point props, and that's really been my bread and butter daily on PrizePicks. And yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard of it by now. But if you haven't, you sign up using code GUNDACKER. They'll double your first deposit. I would switch to the fancy screen, but I just remember like the cameras ain't really working, gelling. So just click that link if you're not on it. And if you sign up using my link, I will literally drive to you, give you a hug, and we'll be best friends forever, BFFs. I won't do that, by the way. You need at least one college basketball with one NBA. It's got to be a 5-leg. You guys are killing that college, though. I see a lot of college screenshots in the Discord. Some of you guys know what you're talking about when it comes to college. I can tell. Chasing Big Daddy. Yo, shout out to all you guys jumping in that free Discord. A lot of you guys taking advantage of this $20 giveaway. If you guys are not yet, there's still plenty of time. Shout out to Apollo, V. Jeffers, J Prophecy, Chris 03, Dance with Dice, you would too. Jim Degg, Big Daddy, Jay. $20 could be yours. All right, chat. You guys fire away any questions, comments, concern. That's it. That's the whole slate, and I think it's pretty straightforward. I think if you're like me, you're gonna be a little bit scripty tonight. We're gonna be focused on Bulls exposure, focused on Bucks exposure. I'm gonna definitely lean on an above average amount of Pelicans. I'm not gonna go crazy with this first game, Cavs and Raptors. I'm gonna get to once the Raptors news does become more definitive. Obviously, going to get to Siakam, VanVleet, Garland, but those are going to be like tier 3s for me. And I'm really just going to key on a couple teams that have the most, I think, I'll say the most stackable approach, and it's the Bulls, the Bucks, the Pelicans, and then I'll just kind of stretch out from there with the Grizzlies, of course, being a strong 4th. I would say Tyus Jones is obviously my favorite play on the slate. But like there is some volatility in a 7+ K Desmond Bane in a double-digit point spread. Jaren Jackson Jr. probably gets to 40, so he's probably going to be an anchor as well. And I don't know that other than Justin Anderson on DK, I would get to much on the Pacers. That's kind of it. So, yeah, anything you guys got, what I need to do after I get off the air is I need to tidy up the spreadsheet. It's kind of sloppy because so much news happened while I was live for PrizePicks. And then I need to record a best bets video. So I'm going to give you guys at least 3 bets that I like tonight for sports betting and on PrizePicks. You can use them universally using the odds stamp stuff. And then I'll be in the rundfs.com pre-lock voice chat from 5:30 to 7:30 Eastern. So pretty busy schedule today, even though it's a lighter slate, you know. What up, Leighton? Is it a Raptor stack night? So I wouldn't talk you off of the potential minutes that you're going to be able to take advantage of if we lose Gary Trent. Even without Gary Trent, you know you're going to get near 40 minutes every day from Barnes, Siakam, Van Vliet. I would say at these prices, with this total, with this pace, certainly not like everyone's going to smash for tournaments, but we're going to have Raptors exposure. I don't think, in terms of a stack, I'm thinking like 3 guys in a lineup. I'm probably not going to get too many 3 Raptor lineups, but I'll certainly have 3 or more Raptors in the player pool, and that would be Siakam number 1, Van Vliet 2, kind of like 2A, 2B with him and Scotty Barnes. I'll probably get to more Van Vliet. And then if they roll out that lineup where Siakam could play at the 3 and they go double bigs, and it's like a Boucher, Kem Birch lineup, or Precious Achua, that would probably be the guys that I stretch down to and get a little bit more of, but not necessarily something that I have to do. I got Achua at deep 20 minutes as is, about a point per minute on that. Same with Boucher. So plenty to like here in this in the Raptors team. I don't think I get to 3 Raptors though, but I will have them in the pool. I wouldn't get to 3 Raptors in the same lineup is what I meant to say. What if Halliburton sits? If Halliburton sits, I think they get run out the gym and they get laughed at. That's not to say there wouldn't be some value to take advantage of. Talked about maybe Lance Stevenson revenge gaming his way at this 3.3K DK price point to play in a role, right? 25 fantasy points might get you started and go from there. But I also want to remind you guys that Halliburton Q tag, that's not a today thing. That was there yesterday as well. It's the same designation, and he played through it. So I don't know. If you had Malcolm Brogdon out for rest last night, I thought it might be one of those reverse it the next night, Brogdon play and Halliburton sit. But Brogdon's just straight up resting. So I don't know. But if Halliburton became an O tag, probably that $5,600 price point on Buddy Hield, even no matter what, that's probably too cheap. But yeah, I think I don't know. You could make a case for Halliburton no matter what, just because of the pace up spot here. But I just don't trust anyone against the Grizzlies, man. They're so good defensively. I don't push it. Can I steal your college 5? I'm not that good with college 0. I don't think you're talking to me, right? I would say get in the Discord and ask around. There are some cats in there. Now, I don't know everyone personally to vouch for them, but there are some cats in there that have been grinding college, so you might be able to get a strong take. CP3 minutes. Hollywood, I put 30 for now. Like I said, he wasn't out for like a hamstring or a knee. It was just a thumb injury. So I don't know that kept him from keeping his cardio right, but I don't know that it didn't. So I got 30 right now, and that's it. I love Mobley tonight, 50+ in their last matchup. Yeah, I'm going to have Mobley. I didn't have him like as a core option or anything like that, but I guess it's not crazy without Jared Allen. He's been playing, deep minutes, second deepest minutes on the team per game probably. So 40, 50 fantasy points, not out the realm of possibility. So no pushback here on that. Probably would fall into a tier 3 category for me later tonight. Keith says, does Sykes start without Holly and Brogdon? I have no clue, Keith. They could go Sykes. They could go They could go Lance Stevenson if they really wanted to get weird with it and full on punt it. They could give Buddy has shown that he can run the unit as well, so they could go really weird and start Buddy. Dwayne Washington played 21 minutes last night, so they can do a lineup. There's like Buddy Hield, Dwayne Washington. Sykes has not even been in the. Is Sykes even in the league right now? Is he in the G League? We've seen Sykes start earlier this year. I guess he is. He played 24 minutes the game before. I guess we'll type it, or we'll search it. Kiefer Sykes, Pacers. Lance played for 8 different teams in his career. It's a lot. Is there like a transaction wire on Sykes here? All right, I don't want to look at it, but he didn't log minutes last night, and he's not listed here as DNP, so I'm wondering if he was active or not. But he could be a thing, unfortunately. But like I said, Halliburton's tag is the same as yesterday, so I wouldn't be too stunned if Halliburton played tonight with no issues. Lance saw the Kiefer Sykes documentary on Netflix. Wait, there's a Kiefer Sykes documentary on Netflix? Is there really? What is it, Lorenzo? I will literally watch that. That's a Netflix documentary, or is this like some joke that you're setting up? Chi-Town basketball player Kiefer Sykes is Marshall High star point guard. What? This is Prime. It's on Amazon Prime Video. Dude, I'm gonna have to check that out. That looks interesting. I might watch it later. Huh. Good call. Good call there, Renza. Kristaps over 20. You like that? All right. I mean, you guys are looking for the prize picks fire, right? So I had in my notes, I had Steven Adams first half. They had a really low number on him. It was like 13 or something, right? 14. He's been just crushing that every game. And then it just helps me feel a little bit safer about a potential blowout. And then we have no Brandon Clark, right? So if we pull up that Memphis minute rotation. President playing 100% Holiday. Yeah, Drew Holiday is a super strong play. 50-plus fantasy points, very real tonight. Last night we saw Brandon Clark was representing 8 minutes in the first half. Played all of the fourth quarter, garbage time. But all of his minutes were directly opposite Steven Adams. So Steven Adams' direct backup being out, we might get deeper minutes for Adams, and that 14-point first half prop is probably a little bit too low. So that's probably my favorite prop to attack, right? I need a player for 5,400 for utility to finish my lineup. Jim, I always got to ask you, well, you two, so I guess it's a DK util, 5,400. Melton over PRA. They have Melton props. 54. Do you already have KCP? I think KCP's usage will at least be there. And he was like a 0.75 fantasy point per minute in this split, and it's a pace-up spot against Milwaukee. And KCP is not immune from taking some threes here. Not necessarily somebody I think is going to have 30 real points today, but probably KCP if I had to, especially if you had some Drew Holiday in that lineup, would be positively correlated to what you have. I'm not going to run to Brissett here, but without, I don't know, I guess that lineup could open up to where Brissett could see some deeper minutes, but I'm not feeling great about playing him. I guess KCP would be my first answer, and then if you waited for some news, for instance, if we lost Bataze, you might get into some Jalen Smith. If we lost Gary Trent and they put out that 3 big lineup, you probably get into some Precious Achua. Of course, you're leaving a little bit more salary on the table, right? Gamer memory foam bed. Yeah, I have memory foam pillows that I really, really like. But, yeah, my back is killing me, man. Leighton says Javonte Green's a good pump play on Fanduel over Kispert. I mean, it's really cheap. Kispert's going to be scoring dependent no matter what. Javonte Green coming out here, get you a couple peripherals. I don't really have, like, a higher expectation for one over the other. And this front court rotation, like, they're still live to get Tristan Thompson involved in, like, a double big lineup or something like if they had to with no DeRozan. I don't know that he's a better play. I think Kispert's probably implied for more minutes. And his skill set in terms of just being a shooter against the Bucks, and especially a three-point shooter, probably is a little bit more favorable. So I probably would get to more Kispert than Green. I don't even think I have Green in the mix right now. but he's a pivot, I'll say. PRA. I want to look at that PRA for Melton. V Jeff, like V Jax. Rest in peace. Melton. I'm actually kind of surprised that they have Melton lines this far out. So we'll go to NBA. Melton. They have his PRA at 21.5. I have Melton at player props. I mean, I don't know. I have to do some more research on it, guys, but it's 100% a nerve thing, right? This isn't like muscle pain. There's nerve damage and nerve, like the like, I don't know how to explain it. You know when your arm goes numb? Like, you guys know that feeling? It was just like that tingling, pulsing tingle. Like, that just starts happening in my back. And then, yeah, I get spasms too, but it's that tingle that is absolutely got to be a nerve thing. And then sometimes it feels like someone's lighting, like there's a lighter or blowtorch. I woke up today thinking that someone was putting fire to my back, man. It hurts. I have PRA on D'Anthony Melton right now, 23, almost 24. So I do have a lean on the over of 23. So yeah, I would take a three PRA differential between my projections and there. So I don't mind that, especially if we bake him in for a fourth quarter run. So did we get extra fourth quarter run last night for Melton? A little bit, not extra. And that game was competitive. I think this game doesn't. If it doesn't stay competitive, I guess it's possible that Melton cleans up. And looking at that last game where they played, D'Anthony Melton played 27 minutes, and he was all about that garbage time in the fourth quarter. So, yeah, I could get behind that Melton call. Who asked that? Vincent Jefferson. Yeah, I can get behind that. Back pain is, yeah, it's so bad. Rui's in play tonight. You think so? Yeah, I don't mind that, but I don't love it either. What do I got on Rui? I have a mid to low 20s minute projection per minute. It's fine. No mids really. Yeah, mock, dude. I definitely don't like. It's one of the things where like I'm just kind of getting accustomed to it. And this isn't. I probably haven't complained about it much on stream, but I've been dealing with this for like 5 years now. Like my last year or so working at the prisons, it was really bad. And just lately, it's just been. It was really bad, but it was like triggered by activity. Now it just flares up on me, like just sitting here. So I've like looked into CBD, and you guys know about straight edge. Like I don't do none of that. I've never done any of that. Other stuff like the medicinal stuff. But I've even like researched that and thought about just doing that for the sake of getting rid of that pain, because sometimes it is just so crippling, man. It's bad. But we'll see. You probably have sciatica, which is pinch nerve that runs for. That's Zach. I think that's probably what it is. Things that can help with weight loss, stretching, and exercise. I'm gonna get back on some DDP yoga, right? What's up, Arizona? You getting to the Jokic tonight against the Suns? Honestly, no. Like I'm gonna have exposure to him because why wouldn't I? But not an aggressive amount. I'm getting to more J-Val, more Vucevic. Right now, and probably a little bit more Steven Adams, you know, Pong rips gun. It scares me. I don't know how to explain it. I've never been drunk. I've never been inebriated. I don't even like take medicine, bro. Like the first time I took a melatonin to go to sleep, I was scared out of my mind. So I don't know. I'm gonna acupuncture, especially. I might have to do that ice bath, maybe. Anyway, chat. I gotta get some work done before. So I got to work on a best bets video. So if you guys would do me some love, when you see that video get posted, man, just drop by, hit that thumbs up, maybe leave a comment on that. And if you want to get entered in that $20 giveaway, make sure to check out Josh's video from this morning. Make sure you're subbed, all that good stuff. Where are we at on channel subscribers? We are at 6,851, so 149 away from 7K. What are the chances? How many days left in this month? 7 days left, 150, and we've been putting content on the daily. Like, what are the chances that we could get to 7K subs before April 1. So we would need 149 divided by 7. We would need about 21 new subscribers a day, and we probably hit our limit today. So it's probably not that mathematically likely, but hey, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, you want to help us reach a goal, hit that sub button, man. I would sorely appreciate it. But yeah, I gotta get some work done. So yeah, do you evaluate Fanduel plays? Yeah, Apone, you got something that you want my thoughts on? I don't mind looking at it. I think Fanduel is gonna be pretty easy to make lineups tonight. Probably too easy. You're gonna get a lot of dupes. But I'm gonna go open up my cruncher real quick and just off the top of my head, try to remember some of my favorite. I know Drew Holiday. I'll probably start a lineup with Drew Holiday, Tyus Jones, Jaren Jackson. I like quite a bit. Bobby Portis is gonna profile extremely well. Vucevic is way too cheap. Levine without DeRozan's too cheap. Can you explain how the satellite tickets work? I never used them. Yeah, so satellites are a way to gain entry into contests that you normally wouldn't play for whatever reason. Let's say there's a $200 contest that you can't play because your money ain't that long, but you wouldn't mind playing it. Well, you can grind satties and earn a ticket into that contest. So it's like a regular contest, but the reward to the contest is an entry into another contest. So I don't know. You see some satellites for baseball already, I think. But let's say there's a NBA monster on FanDuel. I don't even remember what it is these days. 300, 400, something like that. You could probably get into some $5, $10 satties. You generally have to finish like top a really, really high amount. But if you're trying to climb that ladder, grinding satellites is definitely a way to get there, right? And it's multiple ways to skin a cat, I always say. You can grind satellites to qualifiers, right? There's a whole different process. Qualifiers are a lot different. But satellites are, I don't know if you guys ever played poker. It's kind of like that. You can earn a ticket into another contest, essentially, is the simplest way to break that down. All right, so on FanDuel, if I was making a lineup right now, just based on what I know, I want Tyus Jones and everything. I probably want Jaren Jackson. I just start two-man stacking all the teams I want, all right? Tyus Jones, Jaren Jackson. Adams is on the fence, but I definitely think Vucevic is way too cheap. So I'm going to play some Vucci gang. How about the Bucks guys and maybe a high-owned fade? Man, I don't have a pulse on ownership projections for the slate. So I don't want to lie to you and guess ownerships. But I would say if I'm lower than the field on Jokic, that wouldn't surprise me, and that might be the way I get a little bit different. So what do we? I put in Levine, Vucevic. I put in Tyus and Jaren Jackson, and then Drew Holiday. We'll put Drew Holiday in the blender. And then Bobby Portis is interesting, but let's just say I run 10 lineups based on those locks. See what pops back. It's hard for me to get away from the Joker and FanDuel. I ended up like that last night where sometimes you just have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to salary. You're not really that constrained. So you just take the floor, the raw points, and like I said, I don't want to be the guy that talks anyone off of Jokic because I love him, just generally. But I do think a team like the Suns that are very defensively smart could give him some trouble tonight to maybe not squeeze out ceiling. And I do think there's some underpriced guys at center with Vucevic being the most glaring inefficient price. But even when I lock in some of my favorite plays here, Jones, Drew, Levine, Jaren Jackson, Bobby Portis, like this one looks really well. And I know I don't love Indiana tonight, but I gotta say Buddy Hield is way too cheap at $5,600. So I might even just play him just for the heck of it. So there's gonna be plenty of ways to get into some really strong lineups tonight. And I also think Siakam's somebody I can get to. Here's one that has Siakam. So plenty of creativity routes or creative routes, I'll say tonight. So yeah, McCollum for sure. McCollum's a little bit more expensive than I would like him to be for if he just dropped 40, but I think he's all the way fine. So remember these smaller slates, we can take some of the 5Xs here and there, right? The floor games and live to tell about it at the end of the night. Whereas nights like last night or those bigger slates, we don't, man. Jokic only had 48 last meeting against the Suns. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I think Jokic is Jokic. He's the baddest man on the planet. However, Andrew Miller just retired. Dang. However, the Suns, Monty Williams, they have a lot to play for tonight to clinch that Western Conference, and they're just such a strong defensively minded team that they'll scheme appropriately. So I am a little bit worried about that here tonight. But anyway, how do you feel about Hayes with Nance back? I think Larry Nance, I'm not quite sure what to expect from him from a minutes perspective. I put 15 in my soft run, and I think that's a fair starting point. It could be less, it could be a couple bit more, but I'm not expecting much different. It doesn't matter how they use him. Assuming that they use him in the front court, I think Hayes still starts. I think JaVale still starts. But with Hernan Gomez, with Larry Nance, I think there's some more volatility in minute projections, assuming that he does, impact that front court rotation. So it's what it is. Chat, I got to get a quick video recorded. I appreciate you. I know it's kind of a low energy day, whatever. Josh will have a video in the morning. We'll be back tomorrow with another pair of streams. So I hope you guys are killing it, man. Twitter.com/Gundacker. I appreciate you guys making part of my day, be part of your day. Tell somebody you love them because I love you. Good luck. God bless. And as always, go win some money.